Hi guys, firstly, my name is Nish. Today I'm just generally going to talk about how we could host a ghost blog, so called from your home. We're going to follow Alex's system design, so called philosophies to scale that. I'm just kidding, I'm just trying this out to learn more on that side. For this reason, I just need that you to have a spare machine, get Docker installed in it. Pretty much that's it, the basic steps for now. So, firstly, let's head over to the architecture just as a diagram such that we visualize what we need to do. Here it is. That request coming on port 80 and 443 that would be forwarded to a Wi-Fi router or via modem because that's the first firewall. And then from there, we need to forward this request to some machine. In my case, I have two machines, but you can do the entire step, all these things in one machine. But for us to understand, Nginx proxy manager, reverse proxy, and horizontal scalings format. That is the reason that I'm taking an example of two machines over here. So what happens is that we need to configure our Wi-Fi or our modem to forward this request on 443 or port 80 to the first machine. As you can see, that's called M1 machine, which has Docker installed and Nginx proxy manager as a container going on. So basically, I've said that, for example, that I've set these ports specifically to maybe 20,000 port 80 and 20,443 going on. You can set any port that you want, so that's fine. And then from there, what we need to go is we need to head over to Nginx admin portal, which is basically like a site going on. Add our SSL certificate. I hope that you have your own domain by now. So yeah, SSL certificates with our Cloudflare Azure DNS going on. We just need to configure Nginx to forward those requests to this machine called M2, which again has a Docker going on. Like that, we are running our Ghost container basically. Ghost uses as well MySQL, so we'll have that going on as well. So pretty much that's it. Why I'm using Cloudflare is just that Cloudflare is this kind of thing that helps us with DDoS attacks and whatnot going on. Plus, more safer side is just that it helps us protect our IP addresses. Uh, I mean, if you want to give out your IP, that's fine with you. But I don't give my IP, and nobody should personally, because where I live, it's like ISPs don't give out dynamic IP addresses; they give static IP addresses. So wherever you are living, please make sure that your ISP is giving you a static IP address and not a dynamic IP address. By means that it will keep on changing. It could work for someone and then it goes off your website. So make sure of that. But yeah, now let's go to the next step of configuring our router. So guys, from what I was saying is that we need to head over firstly to our Wi-Fi router. That's the first firewall. We need to make sure that we give out two static IP addresses for both the M1 and M2 machine. Why is that? Because DHCP generally gives our IP addresses on lease. So that is whenever we connect to a Wi-Fi and disconnect, it's given it for a certain period of time, and then it renews that lease, gives you the new IP address. Yeah. So first thing first, head out to this gateway. In my case, this is my gateway. I don't know what would be your gateways. Generally 192.168.0.1 or 1.1, but it's written at the back of your Wi-Fi router or your modem. So check that out, and the login credential as well are written on that. So you can find that out easily. So here you can see, I have these two machines, and all I need to do is just make the IP address to be reserved and not be dynamic. So yeah, that would be it. Just taking a while to load up, but yeah, I'll show that out. That I just have to do this for my case. I don't know it would be uh, different or be the same, but there is a way. That's what I know because I'm not using the same modem as you are. So yeah, all you can see is that I just needed to do this, give out a specific IP address, and I'm good to go. So now if I go out of this, we need to go to now to port forwarding, which handles basically the external and the internal ports that we need to forward to the request. We know our type of service, what it is in generally. In this case, it's HTTPS. So here you see my port forwarding if I go. So yeah, Now, if you see here, I have this HTTPS service going on TCP, and I've given the external port, which is basically coming for any traffic that's coming from the internet. And this is my internal port for my own local network. So I have this port defined, same with HTTP. And I'm also forwarding it to the M1 machine. And that's it. So all this is all you need to do, and you're good to go. Make sure the external port is 443 and 80, and your internal port, you could give anything that you want, any specific port. And make sure that on your M1, you allow this internal ports, for incoming traffic, because your operating system has another firewall going on, which would block this. So make sure that these ports that you define here, you also allow them in your local machine. So that's it. You don't need to do much here. And now what we need to do is install the Docker and nginx on our M1, and let's head over there. Guys, I hope that you have installed your Docker on your first machine going on. And what I'm showing you here is just basically this. That's what I did for nginx at this stage. That is, you need to just copy this Docker compose file pretty much. Set your specific ports on the left side, because the ones on the right side are for the container itself, and the one on the left are for the host machine. So this you can change them. Please do so. It's not required, but it just say that you can separate that. So yeah, and then pretty much you just need to run this Docker compose command going on up in detached mode, and pretty much you're good to go. In my case, I've already done that. So here it is. I can just show you. Yep, you have a reverse proxy going on, and pretty much that's it. So I have that going on, and we need to head over to the admin portal. Now here they have said, that you head over to on port 81 on a local host. If I click this, it will not work for me. But in my case, I have defined it differently. That is the reason. So I think it's on this port. Let's try it. Yeah. So here you can see, this is the port that I have going on. And just let me pull up my credentials. For you, it will be not the login page, but by default, a sign up page. Make sure that your password is there and you know it, because this thing will not allow you to, create another new account whenever you set it up for the first time. So make sure of that. And now what we need to do here is basically we can add proxy hosts, but before that, we can do is we need to add SSL certificates. So in my case, I've already added one. But I can just show you it's simple as that. Just come here to add SSL certificate. Let's say if you already have a new one, that's fine. Now here you see the part you can just add your domain and your subdomains as well going on, or anything like a wildcard entry. So this is like a wildcard dot any subdomain. Let's just say google.com. Add that. So any subdomains of google.com would be added, plus google.com by itself. And that's it. And for the DNS challenge here that I was saying, that we can use our DNS provider being Cloudflare going on. This is the API token. So head over to Cloudflare. Okay, go to right there over here. Click login. Uh, we need to come here to your DNS. Make sure you know your public IP address, or you can just search it up on Google. What's my IP address? And you'll find that. So here we need to make sure you add an error code to it. So basically just add an error code, and at sign would basically mean that you're pointing it to your domain, and give your public IP address over here. Make sure you say the proxy status being proxied, because that's very important. API tokens. Here in my case, I have two of them, but make sure when you logged in or created, you have nothing going on. All zones. Make it to all zones in this case for the zone resources. Continue to summary, and you'll get this token over here. I'm not going to create one, but save that token, and then that's it. Pretty much come over here and paste that token over here to create your SSL certificate, agree, and hit click on save. I have done that step, so I'm not going to do it, but just for you. So we need to head over to SSL and TLS, and here I've said is full. So what by this means is that any traffic from our original server, in this case from our home to Cloudflare, the traffic would be encrypted, and from the browser to the Cloudflare, traffic ongoing would be encrypted. So let's say you're trying to access this blog from somewhere else, or someone else is trying to use or read your blog. They are using their own browser. All that traffic gets forwarded to Cloudflare's DNS, and pretty much that's it. I hope that you have already forwarded your domain name, or I would suggest you could buy a domain name from Cloudflare. I guess they give it for free as well. I don't know, but yeah, make sure of that. That's an easy step, I would say so. So just get that going on. I know I've missed one more thing, that is, the domain and how you can transfer it, but I expect that you could just figure that out. It's quite simple. It's not that hard. All you need to do now is head over here into your dashboard, click to proxy host, and add a proxy. Now here, please just give your domain name, that is your own domain name that you bought. Schema would be HTTPS in this case, and your IP, that is going to be for the next machine, M2. Make sure of that you add it over here, and the port number that you specified. We'll look over this, but we need to add that same port that the original Ghost works, I guess, on port 2368. So I've just given that by default. I don't do pretty much anything. Yes, I've already done that. So just force SSL, HTTPS, HSTS as well. And if you have subdomains on that, so you could do that. But in my case, I don't have, so I'll just leave that. But now all we need to do is just head to the M2 machine and get everything installed. That is basically Ghost, and run it up on the ports that we already defined over here. And that's it. You can see that I've made this Docker Compose file for running of Ghost itself by default the way they are, and that's it. You just need to hit this and deploy it and run. So it's the same thing that we did with nginx, so you don't need to do anything. It's just the simple. Only thing you need to make sure is the port number. If it's different, in my case I just left it the same as Ghost blog, so that's the only thing that I've not left. I've not made a different port for that. Deploy it, and hopefully everything should be working. So then what you could do is you can go head back to your blog, and in my case it's just this. But for the first time, if you want to go, is uh, just random slash ghost. So if you are heading for the first time, make sure that it's slash ghost, such that you have an admin portal being shown up, and you can create an account. And make sure as well that there's only one account for the our admin. So make sure you don't lose the password, and pretty much you're able to log in over here just like this, and voila, here you can see this. Don't worry guys, if any of you guys have missed any particular step, I've written my separate blog on my own website that I'm hosting from home, so you can read out the entire blog and the entire process. Just in case if I've missed anything on this video, you can go check out my blog. Please subscribe to the newsletters, and every week hopefully I'll be making such kind of content. If you're interested into it, please subscribe to my channel, and that's it. Thank you guys. Yeah. And take care. Peace.